Good afternoon, friends. I hope you're all doing so incredibly well. I am, of course, just starting another casual vlog, and again, filming on my phone because it was just so much easier last time to do that. So hope you guys don't mind. I don't feel like the quality is like super terrible. Like, it's obviously not as good as the camera, but this is just so much easier. But I wanted to show you guys my outfit quick. I am obsessed with this outfit. It's from New Flora, so like pretty pricey, but I got it on Poshmark for like $20 for this and like 10 or 15 for this, which is insane. I don't usually love outfits that show a little bit of skin, but I feel like this is not bad. You know, it's pretty good, but it's so comfortable and I feel like it's so cute. Like, it's classy but super casual. I just love it. So feminine and flowy. But yeah, I just wanted to show you guys that. I just think it's so stinking cute. Don't sleep on Poshmark. There's so much good stuff on there. So I am in the middle of a work day over there, and I figured I would just start this now because why not? I am going to make a smoothie for lunch, and I'm gonna go outside and harvest some stinging nettle from our yard to throw in, because why not have that extra nutrition, you know? And then I've made a bit more of a dent in powerless. So it has only been like a day or two since I ended the last vlog, and that night that I ended it, I read a lot. I mean, for me, a lot. I made it to chapter 28, which is page 240. So that's pretty good for me. And I'm enjoying it so far. I gotta say, I will admit, a few more things popped up that I was like, really? Which was, I had to set you down quick, which was, of course, that Peyton's like chosen weapon of choice was a bow and arrow. Does that sound familiar? That was kind of like a, can you stop with like all of the similarities with Hunger Games and stuff? Other than that, I'm not too bothered by anything. There are a few quotes actually that I read that I'm like, I've heard this elsewhere. I think the first one, I mean, not the first one, but the first one's coming to mind, was when Kai made like a comment of her being like a toy of his. I'm pretty sure either Rhysand or Cassian had said that in the ACOTAR series. And then the other one was when Kai saved Peyton and he said, "If you die, I swear I'll kill you." And I'm like, that's a quote from Outlander. Mind you, that's a pretty common quote maybe from like other places, so I might just be reading into that. But that is a quote that I remember from Outlander because I remember watching an interview with Sam Heughan, I think is how you say his name, who plays Jamie in Outlander, and he like hated that line so much. Like, he in the interview he was like, ah yeah, the greatest line of all time that makes total sense. And it was the same thing of he was rescuing Claire for something and he said, "I swear if you die, I'll kill you." So yeah, just like these quotes that I know I've heard elsewhere, that's kind of annoying a little bit. But again, there are only so many quotes in the world. I don't know. I don't know why I'm trying so hard to like justify a lot of the things I don't like. Maybe it's just because I am having a good time. I'm enjoying the banter. I did start annotating, but I'm annotating the good and the bad things. Like, there was something in here, I think it was actually at the ball the night before the first trial, and it was a response, I think, that Peyton says to Blair. So there's minimal swearing in this book, which I appreciate. I wish there wasn't any at all, but I'm okay with like the minimal amount. And Peyton calls Blair something, and there's like a swear word, and the annotation that I put next to it was, that was kind of an L response. Like, I was expecting something a little more clever from Peyton rather than just like resorting to insult, you know? Like, I want more banter and clever lines and not just like giving into insulting somebody instead. So I don't know, again, maybe that's like a really random complaint that doesn't make sense, but that's just how it's going in my head. So anyway, I stinking love this bookmark so much. I know I already showed it to you guys, but it is like a sword on the inside, like a little leather black sword. I love it so much, and it's just perfect for this book. Hello friends, so it is the next day obviously, and I have made quite a dent in powerless. So I'm on page 292, which is chapter 34. I got super sucked in when the trial started. Lauren Roberts is very good at writing action scenes, so we'll just put it that way. So it was definitely a really good time. I will admit it wasn't too Hunger Gamesy. Obviously, I'm a little more than halfway through and I'm really enjoying it so far. I hate to admit it. The trials was fun. I think that it had a really good amount of action, and I appreciate that Peyton actually like struggled. Like there were some times where it was like, oh, like obviously she's not gonna die because she's the main character, but she could, you know? So I appreciate that it wasn't super like she can do anything and everything kind of situation. Okay, so I'm gonna put on screen spoiler, and I'm just gonna like talk about what happened. So if you don't want to know, you can skip ahead to where it's not on the screen anymore. So I'll just give you time to pause and skip ahead. So obviously like Peyton and Kai partnered together, and she was like, so it's been like 3 boring days, and I'm like, okay, well like what happened during the 3 boring days? Like obviously you guys weren't sitting in silence, so like did you guys get to know each other? What did you talk about? I just feel like it's kind of odd that all of a sudden on like the 3rd or 4th day or whatever is when they finally start talking. But I do keep finding myself like being really into the story, and then all of a sudden there will be like a quote or something that pops up that I'm like, hey, well that just like took me out of how much I was enjoying this. But that's only happened a couple times. I will say what I am annoyed with right now is just like repeated phrases or words. Like if Kai talks about her ocean eyes one more time, I'm gonna snap. Or if one of them says interesting one more time. Or Kai saying she has that look that I just can't place. Like, you've been saying the same things over and over again, and it's getting kind of old. And then the other thing too was that he says things like vicious little thing or darling, and it's kind of being overdone a little bit. And maybe it's not, maybe it's just because those are the same things that Rhysand said about Farah and Akatar, so maybe I'm just like over that vibe. Like that was Rhysand's vibe, and now you're trying to give it to Kai. So don't do that, you know? Again, maybe I'm just being nitpicky. I don't know. I think the ending was really intense. I loved it with Jax. And it's so funny because when I was reading it before, when Jax was like first introduced, I had a feeling. I was like, something's gonna happen to him, and oh my gosh. When he was introduced, underneath like something that he said, I wrote, please don't die. Because I loved him. He was so cute and sweet, and I'm like, he's a little too cute and sweet, and I feel like this is just gonna like not end very well. So then at the end of the trial, obviously when Kai like threw the star at what he thought was Ace and it ended up being Jax, I was like, I freaking knew it, and my eyes filled with tears. And then when he mentioned like I need to get him to a healer now, that's when I was like, okay, so like he's gonna be fine. But oh my gosh, it was so stressful and so traumatic. Anyway, now like I said, I'm on chapter like 34 or whatever, and so the trial is done, and now Peyton just went into her old house where she believes the resistance is hiding, and I think the twist of Lenny being part of it was so good. I was wondering why Lenny was being kind of like talked about a little bit more throughout the story. I was like, he's not like a main character, so I'm surprised he's being mentioned so much. That makes sense now. So I'm really excited to continue on and to get into this next part about why he's important. so we have definitely had better lighting than this before. I wanted to give a little update because I don't want to forget what I'm thinking right now. So I am going to put on the screen spoiler stuff because I don't want to accidentally spoil something, even though I don't think it's a spoiler, but just in case. Well, I guess it kind of is. Anyway, I'm currently at the part where she's revealing to the Resistance where the tunnels are, and all I can think is like, poor Kit, like betraying Kit, who's been so kind to her and so good, and she knows it, and she's feeling so guilty because all she can think is the same thing, like, wow, you've trusted me and you've opened up to me and you've been so kind and understanding, and here I am, like, betraying you. Okay, first of all, costume cute. Oh my gosh, I love him so much. So that's all I can really think of right now is like how bad I feel for Kit, and I hope he doesn't get his heart broken. I mean, he is, but like still, it's just so sad. And again, this is also bringing back the same thoughts that I had about Red Queen, because if you haven't read Red Queen, I'm sure you picked up on it by now that it's kind of a similar dynamic. As far as what I was saying before, I'm really over the whole, you know, like BA lady girl character, but also that like everybody's falling in love with her. Like, why can't it just be like one guy falls for her? I don't know. That's just the other thing that's annoying me. But then the other character that my heart is kind of like nervous for, I guess, is Lenny. Like, I love Lenny. He's so nice, and he like just seems like such a good guy. And I'm so nervous that he's gonna die. Like, he's gonna get caught and like killed by the king for being a betrayer. Betrayer? Anyway, but I'm just like so nervous for him because I really like his character and he's been so good. Anyway, yeah, the king, insufferable. I hate him. But this is another thing with like communication stuff. So like at one point the king stopped Peyton in the hall and was like, you're not gonna win this thing. Like, you're a mundane, you're nothing, basically. Like, I would have told Kai about that conversation. I don't know. There's just so much stuff that happens in books like this where they keep stuff to themselves that I'm like, why would you not? Am I a loudmouth? Am I like, do I need to just keep some things to myself? Because there are just so many things that happen in these books, and I'm like, why would you not tell somebody about that? Anyway, yeah, that's where my head is right now. I'm having a great time. It's fun. The trials are fun. I will say Lauren Roberts, incredibly talented at writing action scenes, because during any of the action scenes, I'm sucked in so hard. Like, I am focused. I have such a great time. She's so good at writing action scenes. And obviously we've been getting a lot more as the trials are going on. They just finished the second trial with the mountain. So I think we're going to be heading into the third one here shortly, which I'm very nervous for because I feel like there might be a reveal or something about Peyton or the Resistance or something. I don't know, but I'm nervous. If a book stresses me out, it's probably a good book. Hello my dears. It has been a couple days since I sat down and talked to you. Yesterday we went out to lunch with my mom, which was really nice, and I just didn't vlog at all because my brother was over, but I wanted to hop on here quick because I'm at a very important part of the book. I've made quite a dent the last few days. I'm on page 446, so chapter 58, almost done with it, and they're in the final trial. Recap, second trial was kind of boring, not gonna lie. They finally broke the slow burn, which was fun. I really liked the banter and back and forth conversation about it. It's just been really nice to read a slow burn romantasy that is not smutty and dirty. So it was just really beautiful and romantic, and it was a little like, I don't know, I don't want to say it doesn't make sense because they don't know each other, but at the same time I feel like it is, even though it's slow burn, I feel like it's still happening really fast, because even though I'm like over 400 pages in the book, I feel like there still hasn't been that many like conversations between Kai and Peyton that would make sense for them to be so in love. Like it's almost kind of just Kai's in love with her because she's beautiful and like physically strong, you know? Like I just feel like we haven't had that many scenes of them getting to really know each other and peel the layers back. We kind of have lately. There's been a couple of conversations, but I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I don't want to complain about it because, like I said, I love a slow burn romantasy, so I really have nothing to complain about realistically because they have been getting to know each other, but that's just kind of where my mind went when they were kind of professing for each other. So, hang on, I have to throw Rogan's toy. He keeps throwing it at me. Okay, so I am going to put a spoiler on the screen. I don't know if this is technically a spoiler, it probably is, but I'm going to talk about the third trial. It's a little weird. Like, I feel like it's kind of being rushed a little bit. Like, I feel like Peyton has been in the maze for like 2.5 minutes and is already about to come out at the end of it. I have a few theories. So the concept is that they get to the middle of the maze and then there's somebody there that they have to kill, and that person is a traitor to the kingdom. So I have a few ideas of who it could be. The first person that came to my mind was Lenny, because he is obviously an Imperial, but is secretly working for the Resistance, so that could be a possibility. But I feel like the king would have to know that Peyton was going to win. Maybe he set it up that way so that Peyton would win, so that she would have to be the one to kill Lenny. The second thought was Kit, because I wouldn't put it past the king to be a total butthole and have Kit be the one that is going to be killed and have Kai or Peyton win, because if Peyton wins and she has to kill Kit, then like, will Kai be able to forgive that? And then if Kai gets to the middle and he has to kill his brother, and then have the king like blame it on Peyton so she feels really bad about it. But then the other idea was Kit and Peyton, or not Kit and Peyton, Kai and Peyton are going to be the ones who get there. So maybe the king is saying that Kai is traitor to the kingdom for falling in love with the slumber, or Peyton is the betrayer of the kingdom because she's an ordinary, so Kai's gonna have to kill her. But I do like the way this is playing out. It's not coming out as Hunger Games-esque anymore. It's gotten a little bit more original, which I really appreciate. And like I said, I like the fact that Peyton has kind of fallen a few times. Like, she's gotten injured really bad, or she hasn't necessarily lost any fights. Like, she's definitely kicked Blair's butt a few times and all of that. But yeah, I don't know. I'm enjoying it so far. I will say there's not as much depth to the characters as I was assuming there was going to be. Like, as far as Peyton goes, like, yeah, we know a little bit of her story and stuff, but I don't know. I'm kind of just like wanting more about who she is, because right now all we're seeing is, again, she's one of the BA main female characters. And I feel like that's kind of her whole personality at this point. I'm kind of over it. Anyway, yeah, that is my kind of lengthy update. Wow. So yeah, I'm gonna sit out here and maybe read for a little bit, and I will check in with you guys in a while. Okay, that was a decent twist. Hello friends, I finished Powerless last night and it was a fun time. I feel like I should be rating this low because obviously I've been kind of ripping on it quite a bit this whole time, but mainly because obviously, okay, let's list things. It was just like Hunger Games in the beginning. It was just like Red Queen a little bit. it's overdone tropes. We got the cocky guy who has dark hair and dark eyes and is like the most beautiful thing. And then we got the BA female lead character who can do no wrong. And it was just the overdone tropes, right? But then on the plus side, first of all, we all like those things. Even though they're overdone and we feel like we've read it before, it's still just a fun time. Banter was excellent. I really enjoyed the one-liners, and there were a lot of quotes that I underlined, and I was like, oh, that was good. That was a good response. That was a good quote. I liked that. But there were also a lot of things that I was kind of like cringing about that I mentioned. I don't remember if I mentioned in this video or the last, but there were just some things where I'm like, I was kind of hoping for a more clever response there, so that was kind of lame. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm really split down the middle on this, and maybe it's peer pressure of me feeling like I need to rate this low because it's so overhyped, but I don't know. I have to admit that I did enjoy it. However, the other complaints too is that I feel like we really didn't know Peyton that well. Like, I feel like we got to know Kai really, really well. We got to know his background and why he is the way he is, all of the emotions he was feeling and all that. With Peyton, we don't really know a whole lot. And it was mainly from her point of view, like Kai's too, but mainly Peyton's point of view. But at the same time, it's like, okay, we know that you grew up in the slums and that your dad was a healer and that you had to learn, you know, to live like this, but that's pretty much it. Like, I feel like we got way more depth on Kai than we did on Peyton. So I'm wondering if we're gonna get more of that in the second book. If not, I'm gonna be ticked. The writing, like I said, was a good time. Lauren Roberts is a great writer. Some of you may disagree with that, but I really enjoyed her writing style a lot. I think it was just descriptive enough. The world building was decent. I actually was able to envision things, which is kind of like one of the main things I care about. And also her action scenes, like I mentioned the other night, excellent. Her action scenes are written so well, and I was so sucked in. It's like the same thing with Sarah J. Maas in like the ACOTAR series and everything. She is so good at writing action scenes that like I didn't even notice that I just read 10 pages in like 2.5 minutes. Like, it was just such a fun time. Some of the dialogue I wish could have been better, but overall it was pretty good. The twist at the end with who was in the maze was pretty great. Really brutal, really sad. I'm not gonna lie, I teared up a little bit. Like, I felt so bad for her. I felt so bad for Peyton with that, and it was just so horrible. I did kind of like get choked up for a second, but that quickly left when we got into the next scene with the king. Oh my gosh, I hate him. Oh, and I feel like, oh, you know, his monologuing at the end there too. I was like, this is taking me back to The Incredibles when he's talking to Frozone and he's like, the guy has me on a platter, and what does he start to do? He starts monologuing, like wasting his time and all this stuff, and I'm like, that's literally what the king is doing. Like, shut up. My little growly butt. I'm sorry. I didn't just mean to smack you in the face. I'm sorry. Yeah, you're okay. You're okay. So emotional. The other thing too it's kind of random, but this bothers me, is that they're always so young. Like, Peyton and Kai are like 18, 19 years old. Like, I don't know. I'm kind of sick of that. I'm kind of sick of everybody being so incredibly young. And I understand that this is meant to be like a YA series, so it's aimed at people that age, but at the same time it's like, can we get like a really good fantasy series that has like normal aged people? I don't know, people in like their 20s or 30s, maybe even 40s, you know? I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm getting older, but like I kind of want to have like people my age where life is happening to them, you know? Like, when I read stories like this, I'm like, yeah, everything fun and exciting apparently only happens to you when you're a teenager or like 20 years old. Like, life is still exciting and things happen when you're in your 30s too, you know? So I wish that would happen. Especially because of the way they were talking, like with Kai being like, oh, vicious little thing, or like my little darling. I'm like, 18-year-olds don't talk like that. Like, I understand this isn't a fantasy universe, so it's not meant to be like relatable to our world, but at the same time it's like, that's not a thing. Anyway, so yeah, I started Reckless last night, and I'm so curious to see where this goes, because the ending of Powerless was great. I thought the twist was fantastic. I thought the way it ended, like, if you know, you know, I was like, fun times. This is gonna be great. Like, I'm pretty excited about Reckless because, yeah, Kai's all emotional and Kit's all emotional. I'm a little nervous about Kit. I feel so bad for him. Everything that happened to him, I'm like, I wish I could hug you. And I'm nervous. Like, is he gonna use this for character development, or is he gonna use this to like be evil? And yeah, I'm also nervous about getting the POV of the person who was in the maze, because I love that person now and I'm kind of sad that I'm gonna have to read about them before that happened. So anyway, yeah, these are my thoughts. I'm nervous, I'm excited. It was a good time, okay? I expected it to be worse. I've heard so many mixed reviews. Some people, they're like, this is my favorite series ever. Some people were like, this was trash. It's basically the same thing as every other fantasy novel, which I get, but it was still a fun time and there were unique flares. I think she put enough unique flares on it that it wasn't an exact replica of Hunger Games and Red Queen, but it was still similar enough that I understand why people wouldn't like it. I would say it's a win for me. I'm glad it wasn't smutty. I hope it doesn't get smutty, because at the end of this they have a bonus chapter for the next book and it said like, from the sizzling series by Lauren Roberts, and I'm like, what do you mean by that? Please let me know if this quality has been okay. I filmed this video and the last video on my phone, so let me know if this quality is okay. If not, bummer. Powerless, I don't know how I'm gonna rate it. 3.5, 4? 3.5, 4, somewhere in there. Either way, I'm excited to move on to my TBR. Ugh, so many books, not enough time. With all that said, thank you so much for being here. If you've made it to the end, leave a little pink flower from the book cover. I always freak out when I'm reading the book and I come across the part where I'm like, that's why the cover has that on there. So I had one of those moments. So put a little pink flower in there. I hope you guys are having a lovely spring so far / summer. It was 90 degrees all last week and now it's like 51. So it's been a good time. Love hoodie weather. It works for me. Anyway, love you guys so very much and I will see you in my next video. Bye.